Hello everyone, happy Monday. I am so excited that Monday has arrived because that means I get to craft with all of you. So if you are joining, feel free to share the video. I will do a draw next week for everyone that shares to get the cards that I'm going to make tonight. I have two projects to share with you. One I've already kind of made and designed. The other I have an idea in my head, but I haven't actually put it to paper yet. So you get to see the creative process in the works. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to switch the camera to the creative station. So just bear with me one moment. Tonight I am focusing on Sale-a-Bration products because there's only 6 more days of Sale-a-Bration, and I want to make sure that you're not missing out on some fabulous rewards that are available to you. So this card is one of the cards that we're going to make tonight, and I wanted to focus on the Oh So Ombre Designer Series paper, which I have in the background here. It's one of the Sale-a-Bration reward offerings, and it comes in 4 colors, so it's double-sided. So it's Granny Apple Green and Blackberry Bliss, and then it's Bermuda Bay and Rococo Rose. And then I'm also using the Darling Donkey stamp set, which is another one of the Sale-a-Bration reward offerings. And these donkeys are just so cute. I mean, he looks like a little Eeyore, doesn't he? I love him. So we're gonna go ahead and create that tonight. So I'm going to do this one in Bermuda Bay. So our base is 11 by 4 1/4, so it's a little bit different than what I would normally start with. And you're going to want to pull out your scoring tool, or if you have the Stampin' trimmer with the scoring blade, you're going to want to pull that out. So the first thing I'm going to do is score it at 5.5. And for those of you that just received your trimmer, the light blade is your scoring blade, the dark blade is your cutting blade. So make sure you're using the right blade. And then we're going to slide that across to line up that score line with the 1 inch mark. And the lines continue down so you have a good idea of where that mark is, even though you can't see it. And then we're going to score at that 1 inch mark. So you're going to have 2 score lines, one here and one here, and that's going to be our folds. So we're first going to fold it in half on the 5.5 inch score line and give it a nice sharp edge with your bone folder. And then we're going to fold back, and again just give it that nice crisp edge with the bone folder. And what we're going to do is we're going to use our Stampin' seal to attach this 1 inch strip to the base, so then we have a little bit of a more unique fold. So I'm just going to pull out my Stampin' seal, and I'm going to put a row of adhesive all the way down and fold that back like I'm closing the card, and just give it a good rub to make sure it's nice and secure. So there's our card base. So now we can start assembling some of the pieces. So I've got gray granite and basic white, and then the Oh So Ombre DSP in Bermuda Bay. So the first thing we're going to do is just the strip on the side of the fold here. So this is a 1 inch section, and all of my pieces are 1/8 of an inch smaller. So this is 7/8 by 4 1/8. And we're going to attach that using our seal. And because it's not very wide, I can just do a strip right down the center. And when you attach it to your base, it should give you a 1/16 of an inch border all the way around. And then we're going to do the same thing with our DSP, which is 6/8 by 4. And again, it'll give you a 1/16 of an inch border. And you can see I've mispositioned that, but that's okay. Nobody will know unless they're looking hard. And then we're going to do the same thing with our larger panel. So again, the gray granite, and this time I have to check my measurements here because I'm going to mess them up. So it's 4 1/8 for sure, and then I want to say it is 4 5/8. And I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to double check. Yes, 4 5/8. And then our DSP is 1/8 of an inch shorter once again. So again, that should give you that nice 1/16 of an inch border all the way around. And then the same with our DSP. Like so. And then our basic white, now I actually haven't cut this one to size. We do want it to be smaller, so I'm going to pull my trimmer in and we're going to trim that. And I didn't mark down my measurements, so let's do this real quick. I'm going to say 3.5 by 3.25. Sure, let's go with that and see how it works. So far, so good. Lovely. Okay, so now we get to do some stamping. So I'm using this little guy here. Now I think the stamp's actually designed to be like he's kicking up his heels, but we're going to make it so he's dancing on his back paws. And we're going to use the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I've got this stamp on a D size block. To get the best possible image, you always want to make sure that your block is as small as possible compared to your stamp. So just push down and then lift up. You don't want to rock your image, as that's when it starts to get all, you get those halos around it. And then we're going to pull in some Stampin' blends. So I have put in Smoky Slate in the dark and the light basic black, and then the light petal pink. And I'm going to start with our donkey's body. And I'm going to color in around his back here with the dark. I always like to start with the dark. You can start with the light if you prefer. And what I love about blends is you can just blend it until you get the desired look. So there's no right or wrong. And his hair, some darker, and these ears. And then I'm going to come back in with the light and we're going to blend that out. And I like to use circular motions. If you watch my lives, I do a lot of coloring. And I always say the same thing. I love the circular motion. I just find it blends better than the back and forth. And you're just going to go over where you've added the dark. You can go over it as much as you need to blend it in and get rid of those sharp lines. And the one thing I do find with blends is they take a little bit for the ink to kind of disperse and settle. So move on from the section you're working on and go back to it if you need to. Ears. And then I'm going to come back to his body in a moment. So you can see that the line is still pretty harsh here, so I'm going to go back in and blend that out some more. There we go. And while that's working its magic, I'm going to go in with the light black, and I'm just going to add some black to the tip of his tail, his hooves, and I actually want that tuft of hair on his head to be black. Oh, and his mane. I don't like this, so I'm going to blend that in some more. And then with the light petal pink, I'm just going to color in the inside of his ear and his snout. There we go. And I missed his tail. So once you've got your donkey all colored, we're going to attach that right to our base. So again, we're just using our seal. And this should leave about a quarter, maybe a ½ inch border around. So we've got that on there, and that's super cute, but we need some sort of greeting. So we're going to pull in a scrap of Bermuda Bay, and I'm going to pull in the Hey There Friend. This is also from the Darling Donkeys. We're going to ink that up in our memento. And I'm going to stamp that right in the center. And I'm not too worried about the fact that it's not straight because we're going to cut it out. And I am using the Hippo and Friends dies. It does coordinate with the Hippo stamp set that was designed by Robin Carden as her $1 million stamp set. But it's got some really cute labels, so I'm going to use that. So we're going to open it up and we're going to use this die here, which is a beautiful stitched shape. So we're going to put that to the side, and I'm going to pull in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I'm anxiously waiting for my mini to arrive. It should be here tomorrow, of course, not in time for the live. And if you haven't used one of these before, it's so easy. It comes with a platform that tells you which order you need to use the platforms in. So in this case, we're using a thin die. So we're going to use a 1, a 2. So here's our 2. Then we need a 3. We're going to put our paper and our die on top of that. And then we're going to put another 3 on top. And then we just crank the handle. It comes out the other side. And when I lift, there's our little label. How awesome is that? So I'm just going to put this to the side because I am going to use it on the next card. There's my die. And then I've got a piece of the Gray Granite Shimmer ribbon from the annual catalog. I love this ribbon and I don't use it nearly enough. So I pulled it out for this card because it coordinates with the DSP that I've used in behind. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half. And it doesn't matter what that looks like. And then I'm going to tuck it in behind our tag. I'm pulling in our stapler. This is a retired item. We no longer sell this, so any stapler will work. We're going to staple the ribbon on there. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to make sure that the staple is going to end up mostly centered side to side when we staple our ribbon on there. And then we're going to come in with our paper snips, and we're just going to trim the ends to the desired length, because I think these are too long. I'm just going to cut them on that angle so that they don't fray. Unless, of course, you like the frayed look, in which case, by all means. There we go. And then I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals, which are double-sided little bits of foam that give the item some dimension. Aw, thanks, Michelle. So I've just peeled those off the back, and then we're going to pick the paper back off of that. And then we're going to attach our tag. Get our scraps of ribbon out of there. And that's super cute just like that, but of course, you know me, I like bling, so I'm pulling in the Elegant Faceted Gems. And again, these are something that I love and I don't use nearly enough of. And then the Take Your Pick tool, which is fabulous for this. I'm just going to add a couple of the clear gems right below the tag, and then one more just over here. And it kind of ties the dots on the DSP in. and it just completes that look. So the same card, 2 different colors, using 1 pack of paper from the Sale-a-Bration rewards. It's fantastic. I actually have it here. You can see my package is all ripped because I've been in it so much. So you get the sheets with the bubbles on it in the 4 colors. So you have the Granny Apple, the Bermuda, the Rococo Rose, and the Blackberry. And then you get the solids of the same. So you have the Blackberry with the Granny, and then the Bermuda with the Rococo. So that is something that you can get for free with a qualifying order, but only until Sunday. Sale-a-Bration ends on the 28th, so 6 more days to take advantage. And the Darling Donkeys are also part of that program. So let me tidy this up, and we're going to move on to the second card, which I tried to explain in the intro that I hadn't actually come up with a sample yet. It was an idea in my head. So we're going to create together. I'm going to pull in my paper trimmer and clean my stamps. I love the simple chamois. It's great for cleaning your stamps. It's just water, give them a rub, and then they're ready to go for your next project. I'm just going to peel these off my blocks so that they're ready to go for the next stamps. Okay. So I know I want to use Pacific Point as my card base, and then I brought in some basic white. And the card base is 8.5 by 5.5, so I know that I'm going to want a piece that's going to fit in that. So in this case, I'm going to do 4 inches wide and 5.25 long, and that's going to fit perfectly, leaving an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. And then I decided to pull in the Berry Blessings Designer Series paper. So this is another Sale-a-Bration reward, and it's actually a 2-piece reward. So you're going to get the Berry Blessings stamp set with the Berry Blessings Designer Series paper for free with a qualifying order. It is a level 2 reward, so you do have to spend $120 to get it. But I mean, come on, look at this paper. How fantastic is that? And I want to use this one. Reminds me of a fruit basket. So I'm going to cut this to be 2 inches. And then I'm going to cut it to be 3 3/4. So the general rule of thumb when you're cutting your papers is that you want everything to be at least an 1/8 or 1/4 inch smaller than your previous layer, just to give you that border. So you can see my basic white is 1/4 inch smaller than my Pacific Point, and then my DSP is the same, that 1/4 inch. So let's start with that. I'm going to move the trimmer to the side. Let's see what we come up with here. So I'm going to fold my base in half, and this will be a standard A2 card or 1/4 fold card, measuring 5.25 by 5.5 by 4.25. I'm just going to give the edge a nice crisp fold and get that into position. And then our basic white again is 4 inches by 5.25, and I'm going to attach that right to the base with my Stampin' seal, leaving an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. And then this is basic white twine. This is part of the snail mail state, and it comes with blushing bride twine as well. I'm just going to wrap that around my piece of DSP. And I'm going to tie it in an overhand knot and then decide if I want a bow after. So I've wrapped it around twice, and I think I will do a bow. So the thing with the twine is it can be really finicky. So I find if I tie it in that overhand knot first, then it's a little bit easier to work with. And then I can trim my end, and I don't waste as much when I do it that way. So there is our bow. You can position the twine how you want it. If you want it spaced out a little bit, play with that bow. Just so, and then we're going to attach that to the base, again using our seal. Oh, and I pulled my twine right off. So that's the other thing, is if it's not in position where you want it, if you fold the DSP a little bit, it gives it some play, and then you can actually move your twine or your ribbon. So there we go. So now we can stick that on there. So coming along, now comes the fun part. What do I want to do with this? Let's go. I'm going to pull in the hippo dies again, and let's see. Let's do some layering here. All right, so I'll pull in the piece of basic white, and I'm going to cut the smaller of the two that I've pulled out here, and then the larger in the Pacific. I'm just going to grab my machine again. Okay. This is really where the mini machine will come in handy. The back and forth with the space. If you could see my craft room right now, it's such a disaster. I am busily prepping for bingo and the February card club. All my supplies were delayed coming in with all the shipping delays, so everything seems to have come in all at once. So I have Stampin' Bingo going out, I have February card club going out, and I have my Snailed It card class going out. So it's it's a bit of a disaster right now. But I love it. I love being busy. I love creating and sharing it with you, and then seeing your creations once you've had a chance to attend the classes. So Stampin' Bingo and the Snailed It class are closed for registrations. I will be putting up my March class very soon. It's going to feature the art gallery bundle. And, oops, I just hit my light, sorry. See, my desk really is a mess. So the art gallery bundle and, March card class, card club, sorry, is still open for registration. You have until the 7th to sign up for that. With card club, you're going to get everything you need to make 6 cards. So 3 different designs, 2 of each. And it comes with your envelopes, all of your die cuts and cardstock, any embellishments that you're going to need. It also comes with a goodie bag with at least $25 worth of Stampin' goodies in there for you. The card club does not include stamps or dies, but I will tell you ahead of time which products, I will be using, and then you have the option of adding those on should you choose to. So that is available for registration right now on my website, www.inkspireme.com. Okay, so I've got my die cut pieces. So let's do some stamping. And I really love the blueberries, so let's pull those out. And what I love about the Berry Blessing stamp set, A, it's photopolymer, so you can see through the clear blocks where you're stamping. And B, it's a 2-step stamping, which means you have the solid image, which kind of fills it in, and then the outline, which you can use either by itself or as an accent. So let's go ahead and add these to my blocks. So I'm going to put the outline there. I'm going to grab a smaller block for that one. And I'm pulling in Pacific Point ink because you always want to coordinate. And you can see I just got this one. I'm slowly replacing some of my ink pads to the new style. So this is one of those. So if you've never received a brand new ink pad before, on the back of your ink pad are stickers with the name in 4 languages, and then there's also a blank. So what I like to do is I actually peel off the whole back here. And then I'm going to peel off my name, which is the Pacific Point. And it's going to go right here underneath that little cutout, so that when they're in your Stampin' storage, you can easily see them. So if you've got them stacked, you can see quickly which color you're grabbing without having to take it all out. And then what I like to do is I like to open my ink pad, and you can see there's like this little tray right here on the ink pad where you would grab with your thumb. I like to use that blank one that's nothing but the color, and I like to stick it in there so that if I have ink pads open and I have multiple open, I can see what color it is, so I don't mix putting my stamp in the wrong ink pad. And then I just use my snips, or you take your pick tool or your bone folder to just push it into position, and then it's good to go. So I'm going to start actually with my outlines. I'm just going to ink those up full strength in the Pacific Point. And I'm going to randomly stamp those around the edge. Maybe one more. Like that. And then I'm going to come in with the shading. And I'm going to stamp off. That's still pretty dark, so I think I'm going to stamp off twice before I use them to fill in my images. So you can see that the shading fills in those gaps. And maybe I will do these ones only stamped off once, just to give them some contrast. So this is where the photopolymer comes in handy, because I can see mostly where to line up. So there's our blueberries. Of course, we need some greenery. So let's close that because I've been known to make a mess. And let's pull in some leaves. Here's our D block. And we're going to do the same thing. So I've got the outline on one block, and then I'm going to do the centers on another. So full strength with the Granny Apple Green. I am going to stamp some stems or some leaves. Sure, let's try that. Yeah, I'm good with that. And they don't have to come all the way up. You can just do the tips of the leaves if you want. Maybe I'll do this one. There we have our leaves. So we're going to do the same thing we did with the blueberries when we're using that more solid image. So we're going to ink it in our Granny Apple. We're going to stamp off once. And then we're going to come in and fill in those images. So there's one. There's two. I just glanced up and was looking at the closed caption. It's the first time I'm using it, and I can already see that there's some discrepancy in what I'm actually saying to what it's interpreting. That's okay. And then lastly, we want to do our large one here. There we go. So there's our greens. And of course we want a sentiment. So let's pull our Pacific point back in. And do we want wishing you the very best or bountiful blessings? Because I think that's too big. What do you think? Cora, the more you see the berries, the more you like them. Me too. I think we're going to go for wishing you the very best because it's very cute. And I had another block out, but do you think I can find it? There it is. So this is an H block, which is not as square, it's more rectangular. I love that the berry blessings coordinates with the strawberry set in the mini catalog as well. I don't have this set yet, but it's definitely on my wish list. The more I use the berry blessings bundle from Sale-a-Bration, the more I really want the strawberries from the catalog. Let's see if I can find them for you because they're so cute. And there's a punch. Anything with a punch is good. So look how cute these are. So there's your strawberry stamp set, and then there's the strawberry builder punch, which coordinates perfectly with the designer series paper. Like, just so cute. The stamp set itself is 24. The punch is 24. If you get the bundle, it's 43. So you save 10% when you do it that way. So super cute. All right, let's stamp our greeting here. Oh, I like that. There's a lot of times when I have something, like I'm envisioning it in my head, and then when I go to actually apply it to paper, it really doesn't work. I'm really happy that this is coming to fruition the way I kind of envisioned it. Now with the hippo dies, they do line up perfectly if you want them kind of that rounded edge to the rounded edge. I think I actually like them a little bit off the norm, like so. And then let's pull our bits back in, and we're going to pop that off the base with dimensionals right in front of me. And I'm going to use a lot of dimensionals on this because it's a big piece. There we go. I'm going to take a sip of water because my throat's really dry. Alright, so we're going to peel our backs off. And we're going to put our shape on there. And I love that it's not symmetrical. Usually I'm very much a things need to be symmetrical kind of girl, but I'm liking this kind of skewed. And then I'm going to pull in those elegant gems again, and this time I'm going to use the frosty ones. I don't know if you can see them. They kind of look icy. And we're just going to add a sprinkling of bling to the card. And there we have our berry blessings. How fun is that? And I love the Pacific Point. It's a color that I actually have a lot of that I don't use very often. So I'm really happy with how that came together. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's pretty dark inside, so let's add some white to the center. So I'm going to pull in my trimmer once again. And I want that nice 1/8 of an inch border, so I'm going to cut it to 4 by 5 1/4. Hi, Lisa. And before I attach that, I'm going to stamp some blueberries on there because, well, I can. Let's do some leaves first. Hi, Pat. Thanks for joining. Alright. So you notice I'm actually going backwards from what I did before. I'm stamping the center, and then I'm going to come back in with the outline. So it works either way, it's just personal preference, whichever way you want to do it. And then we're going to come in with the blueberries. Stamp those off. And let's do that. I like that. I apologize if you're getting my head in the way while I line that up. There we go. So there's our blueberries inside. And now we can attach that into the center of our card. So again, just using Stampin' Seal. Layer that on the inside. Gives a nice 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. Give it a rub. I'm actually going to close that because if I rub the ink and it's not quite dry, it's going to smudge all over, and we don't want that. So there we go. So there is our second card of the evening. Our darling donkeys were the first. Both are made using Sale-a-Bration reward items that you can get up until Sunday, so 6 more days with a qualifying order. You can shop my online store, which is located in the corner up here, I think. Can't really see what I'm doing. I think it's up here somewhere. So the web address and the host code. And when you shop with me, you also earn ink blots rewards, which is my loyalty program. So it's not just Sale-a-Bration rewards that you're earning, you're also earning ink blots. So there is a whole page on the rewards. If you go to www.inkspireme.com/rewards, it outlines the program and what you get. If you shared the video tonight, you will be entered into a draw to win the cards that I designed. And if you place an order with me using that host code, you will also get the card pack to make the cards that we made tonight so that you can create them yourself at home. And I'm not quite ready to let you go just yet because literally 5 minutes before I started, FedEx showed up at my door with my paper pumpkin, finally. If you haven't seen Paper Pumpkin or you're not sure what it is, I thought I would do an unboxing because I haven't done one of these in forever. At least not a Paper Pumpkin unboxing, and I'll show you what Paper Pumpkin is all about. I'm just going to close up these inks because I'm wearing a white sweater and I know I'm going to get ink all over me. Alright, so the only thing I have done to this box so far is it's usually got cello wrap around it. I've only taken the cello wrap off. I haven't actually opened it. So this is the February Paper Pumpkin kit for 2021. It is called Bouquet of Hope. And Paper Pumpkin is a monthly subscription kit that comes directly to your door every month. It contains a project inside and everything you need to create it. So stamps, ink, paper, adhesive, die cuts, literally everything. And the very first time you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, it comes with a block as well. So you would get, this is a Paper Pumpkin block. So it's a D size block. It's the same as our regular blocks. It just doesn't have that beveled edge. So when you open Paper Pumpkin, you can see it has literally everything you need. So I have photopolymer stamps. and these will coordinate with the project that's inside. And I have what we call a Stampin' spot. So this is Mossy Meadow. Mossy Meadow is a everyday Stampin' Up color. This is just a 1x1 ink pad to give you an idea of what the color looks like. You can then buy Mossy Meadow if you chose to do so in a full-size ink pad. Now this is actually just an ad for the upcoming kit. This is not what this kit is. So next month we have March is actually Paper Pumpkin's birthday, so there is a free gift. So in addition to the kit, you're going to get 4 stencils in the kit that you can use to create projects with. So that's super exciting. And then there is ways to coordinate the Flower and Field Designer Series paper, which is also a Sale-a-Bration reward, with the Paper Pumpkin. So some good ideas there. So let's open this up. It always comes wrapped in this pretty blue tissue paper. And you can see the kit is upside down here, so I'm just going to pop it out. And here is the kit. I'm going to put that box to the side. So it tells me that it is the Bouquet of Hope. It is, pardon me, supplies for 9 cards and envelopes. And these are the 3 designs that you would make from those cards. And everything is inside. So if we open this up, the instructions are on the inside. So if you open that up, you also have a ruler. So if it tells you to use, for example, 15 inches of Mossy Meadow linen thread, which is that, you have the ability to be able to measure it out. You literally don't need anything except scissors. So it comes with the instructions, and then here are all the items. So there's those dimensionals that I was using. These are your envelopes, and I love how they're patterned inside. You never want a naked envelope. So there are 3 different colors. So Mossy Meadow, Bumblebee, and Rococo Rose. You can coordinate with our full suite of products. And then we have laser cut greetings in different languages. So you have English, if you're English speaking, there's French, and then there is German. And then there's enough to make however many projects using that. Then we have some doilies in the lovely gold foil. And then we have card bases, which are pre-scored, so all you have to do is fold it in half. And Paper Pumpkin, if it's a printed paper, it will be white on the inside, so you don't have to add that extra paper like we just did on our darker card. So then there's some vellum for the next project. Look how pretty that is. So pretty. And then we've got some more die cuts that these will just pop out. And you can apply that to your card, and then some more bases. So that's a Paper Pumpkin in a nutshell. It literally comes with everything you need. It's a great way if you like to craft and you don't want to have to invest in all the supplies that you see me use, so blocks and stamps and different inks and scissors and everything else. You can just do Paper Pumpkin, and it's going to come with everything you need to create the project. What I love about Paper Pumpkin too is you can actually skip months. So if, for example, a November kit is likely going to be holiday related, if you don't celebrate the holidays or you've already made your holiday cards, you can skip that month and then resume for the January or the December kit, whatever you like. Same with, the October kit's traditionally Halloween based. If you don't celebrate Halloween, you skip that month, you pick it back up in November. So it's a great system. You can also do prepaid subscriptions, so you don't have to do month to month. If you wanted to just try it out for a couple of months to see if it's something that you like, you can purchase prepaid subscriptions in 1, 3, 6, and 12 month options. You do actually save a little bit of money on the 12-month option. And any of the options, sorry, there's more here. So these are your tags that you would stamp on, and then your adhesives. Any of the prepaid options in the 3, 6, or 12-month sizes will actually earn you Sale-a-Bration rewards. So those stamp sets that we used tonight, the Darling Donkeys, the Also Ombre Designer Series paper. Those are level 1 rewards, which you would earn with a prepaid kit. So that is Paper Pumpkin in a nutshell. I'm just going to come back over and let's chat for a minute. Hi again. You guys, you have no idea how disastrous my workstation is. I should actually take the phone down and show you. Hang on. It's crazy. I'm going to go back. Hang on. Okay. So here's where we were when I take my phone down. So I've got my machines there. I've got piles of stuff here. My computer, and then over here, and I don't know how much you can see, I have stacks and stacks of bingo. I've got more stuff piled on my cutter for the upcoming classes. Like it's just crazy. It really is. I'm gonna go back to me, sorry. There we go. So with all that said, again, Sale-a-Bration ends on Sunday the 28th. There is never a better time to shop Stampin' Up. I mean, if you need to replenish some of your cardstock, if you're a scrapbooker and really not into card making, you can get some of our 12 by 12 pattern papers. We've got beautiful papers that work for all occasions. Maybe you don't even scrapbook. Maybe you're just looking for some fun photography backgrounds. The In Good Taste Designer Series paper is all like textiles and tile walls and wood floors. They make great backgrounds. That's actually what I've got on my desk underneath my scrap paper, is some of that wood grain paper. That's from our DSP. It's fantastic. So lots of options if you are thinking about stocking up. Take advantage of Sale-a-Bration. There really is. I mean, the rewards are fantastic. I've used this paper a lot. Trying to find my camera. There we go. This paper a lot. It's one of the free rewards. I actually created a project with you all on a live earlier in the year. I mean, nope. Calendar using that paper. So that's a freebie that you can get. The donkeys that we used tonight, I mean, like, look how cute they are. You really can't get enough. There's that ombre paper. Oops, there. Nope, that's not the ombre paper. Ha! That is in color paper. And that is part of what you can get free when you join my team during Sale-a-Bration. And I'll talk about that in a second. So there's that beautiful ombre paper. And then Corner Bouquet is another stamp set that you can get. And Heal Your Heart. And if you follow my blog, this one was featured on my blog today. All of this week, my product of the week will be Sale-a-Bration examples. Just because I really don't want you guys to miss out. This is that Field and Flower DSP that I talked about. This is another one I love, and I have to tell you guys, I'm not really a flower person, but I love this. It's fantastic. I have samples. I do have samples. This is a sneak peek for those of you attending bingo. This is one of the cards we're going to be making. Look at that. This is from that paper pack that you get for free. It's just fantastic. Love it. This is another reward. Touch of Ink. It's a beautiful watercolor set. It's so pretty. And then of course the Berry Blessings that I used tonight. So that's a double reward. You're getting the paper and the stamp set. And so the other way to take part in Sale-a-Bration, and one that I often forget to talk about, is hosting. If you host a party during Sale-a-Bration, and yes, I know it's COVID and you can't have people over, I can do an online party for you, whether it's Zoom or Facebook or a combination thereof. And if your party sales reach $375, you're going to earn this exclusive Punch Party stamp set for free. You can only get it during Sale-a-Bration and only for hosting. So it's a great great reward. And then of course, as I mentioned, the join special. So this is the best deal in the catalog. And I'm not just saying that, I truly believe it. I have never regretted my decision to join Stampin' Up. I started to really just get a discount on my own supplies. You can see I have a bit of an addiction behind me. But it's turned into so much more than that. I've developed friendships, and I have a great support system, and I've attended events. I went to Orlando for an event. Stampin' Up! Treats us really well. There's all sorts of rewards and events and incentives. Some of my best friends are also Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. It's truly rewarding. If you are looking for a sense of community with like-minded people, you really want to consider Stampin' Up! And then the fact that you get your supplies at a discount is just an added bonus in my opinion. So the starter kit is, like I said, it's always the best deal in the catalog. So it's $135 Canadian. You get to choose $165 worth of products. So as long as it's in one of our current catalogs, whether it's the mini catalog or our annual catalog or on the clearance rack, $165 worth of product. Doesn't matter what it is, you pick. And then you're also right now during Sale-a-Bration going to get, whoops, there it is, 5 packs. Yep, there. 5 packs. Nope. It's backwards to what I'm doing. 5 packs of designer series paper in our 5 of the color families. So Regals, Brights, Neutrals, Subtles, and In Color. These papers aren't yet available for demonstrators to purchase. So unless you sign up with Stampin' Up! Right now during Sale-a-Bration, you can't get those papers. I don't even have those papers. So that's a bonus. So really, your kit, you're getting about $204, I think, is what it is, of product, and you pay $135. There's no tax, there's no shipping. Like, you really can't go wrong, and there is never any pressure to sell. So something to consider. I'd love to have you on my team. My team, Shut Up and Stamp, is amazing. We have such a great group of people on our team. We have so much fun together, even virtually. We had a great Christmas party. We try to do team events as often as possible. We have meetings regularly, and obviously when COVID isn't an issue, then we get together in person and we laugh and we craft and we just have a grand old time. So I'd love to have you join our team. So I think that is it. I think I've rambled long enough. And if you're still with me, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you all. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if it wasn't for all of you. So thank you, truly. I really appreciate all of you. And I hope you have a fantastic week. I will see you next Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget to share the video. I'll be going back through and doing a draw for those of you that shared the video tonight. Thank you so much, everybody.